Good morning, everybody. I would just like to read something, and I'll just give a bit of background before I do so. From this book. In early 2024, writer and activist Susanna Abelhoa managed to enter Gaza twice through the Rafah crossing. There, at the Culture and Free Thought Association, Susan held a series of workshops for young people who had been displaced to tent encampments. The lives of all participants were marked by unrelenting Israeli violence and extraordinary loss of home, family, safety, education, electricity, and all the structures of humanity. Still, despite the bitterness of life in tents and the dangers of travel, they came together to share in the refuge of writing and community. This book, Every Moment is a Life, delivers rare, unfiltered portraits of life from the emerging voices struggling to survive in Gaza today. These essays are raw and real, capturing human moments, buying bread, going to the bathroom, sharing a meal, drinking coffee, all set against the backdrop of history's first live-streamed genocide. With courage, anger, love, agony, and impossibly hope, these achingly tender voices from Gaza will stay with us, captured in these pages forever. I've picked one. They're all absolutely heart-wrenching, but I've picked one because it still does end amazingly with a bit of hope. This is for Gaza to leave us something by Nabal al-Najjar. The 7th of October, 6 in the morning. We were getting ready to harvest the olives. It was the season. A family tradition led by my grandmother. Olive picking is one of the most cherished times of the year, bringing us together with song and folk hymns, with tea, warm bread, and za'atar. Our hands became crutches for our matriarch, who walked at the helm, her heart already racing ahead toward our land in the village of Huzas in Har Yunis. The land was lush, its soil fragrant with generous life. Its birds greeted us, a burst of colour against a crystalline sky. As we gathered our tools for the harvest, ready to walk and savour the day's beauty, the hour of damnation struck. The morning, brimming with passion and anticipation, transformed in a cacophony of terrifying sounds that pierced our ears and exploded our minds. We stumbled in panic, desperate to understand what was happening. Murmurs arrived quickly from neighbours. Gaza's fence had been breached. The resistance had reached the Gaza envelope, but there was no official news, no clarity. Hours passed. We saw with our own eyes what our minds could not comprehend. Was this the day of judgment, or were we trapped in a collective nightmare? We found ourselves running, young and old alike, abandoning our homes and everything that held meaning to save our lives. Images and scenes of the 1948 Nakba replayed before our eyes, but this time it was our Nakba, a real, living Nakba, vivid and raw, not an old, faded photo or a dim, black and white archival reel. Our anguish raced ahead of us, and we walked chasing our tears, unable to fathom the world around us or where we were headed. We made it to a relative's home and paused to catch our breath, to rest a little. As we arranged the few simple belongings we'd managed to carry in our flight, a deafening explosion thundered too close, sending us running for our lives once again. Adrenaline surged, hurling us to yet another place to hide. Again, we walked, our steps racing against the pounding in our chests, carrying broken bags full of our broken lives and broken dreams, trying to hold our children close as they clung to our bodies. Finally, we reached another stop in our exodus, gasping for breath to hold on. After we spent 20 days clinging to life by a thread, Israel issued an order to evacuate the area. Our third displacement in less than 1 month. Adrenaline, that primal instinct for survival, again fueled our flight to another haven, this time a skull turned shelter for death deferred. My heart boiled with fury when I saw men, women, and children bickering over a pot of rice. I wept 1,000 tears. The school shelter was near Nasir Hospital in the middle of Khan Yunis. It buzzed with noise and throngs of displaced people, making days blur into night. And at night, we braced for death that could come at any moment. Ambulance sirens competed with speeding cars, their horns screaming desperate pleas to clear the roads. They carried the wounded, women, children, and men with severed limbs, or the dead, the fortunate ones whole, or body parts of unknown identity. Our nights were spent trembling. Fear spread like a plague. Whispers of the Shahada murmured around us, each of us convinced the day would be our last. At the time, I did not realise how blessed I was until I went to the injury ward seeking a water source to make ablutions for the Maghrib prayer. I saw a man crushed by grief, like a piece of his heart had been cut out. His 4-year-old daughter lay unconscious on a bare cot. He stared helplessly at her, his gaze empty and lost, his lips trembling as he whispered prayers, his fingers running over the beads of the Mazbaha. I beg you, O Lord, healing is from you, O God. You are Lord of the weak and vulnerable, O God. I wept too, though I wasn't sure why. Was I crying for the helpless father or the little girl robbed of her leg and arm by a hateful Israeli missile? She was beautiful, as children her age are, perhaps longing to wake up and play with her friends. I resisted the urge to stroke her hair, which was pooling around her small face. I imagined her mother combing it, weeping, assuring her she'd always be beautiful. But in that moment, I also felt grateful for the blessings of an unscathed body, at least for now. I returned to our noble shelter, shattered by the scene. It kept replaying in my mind as I struggled to comfort my children, to provide them food, to meet their needs. Responsibilities their father would have shouldered, but he had left 2 weeks before that cursed day, travelling abroad for work to provide for us. And so our days passed, 3 months of this bitterness. Then came our 4th displacement. We thought it would be the last time, a place where we could breathe, but I found myself in a tent with my children, their grandmother and their uncle, surrounded by countless others like us in a desolate, frightening wasteland. Now, 4 months into the misery of this camp, I try to write, hoping words might ease the loss and grief carved on our hearts. The loss of people, homes, places. The loss of Gaza, of the world we knew. Thousands of stories, thousands of cold houses without their families, thousands of empty embraces, all form the memory of a city grieving alone, suffering alone, and dying alone in this world. I no longer want to be part of Gaza's calamity and of her inferno. Let her die alone. But leave us something, a root, a green stem, a patch of green earth, a disobedient wind, and an untamed sea, water drawn from the well of memory, a naughty child laughing, a heart pounding with first love, and a future yet to come. Thank you.